welcome to the Visual CMDB overview. In this presentation, we are going to work with the data center template that is included with your software. There are other templates available, or you can create your own. In this sketch, we have locations, we have network connections from each location to the Cinder data center network. We have our core switches in the data center. We have our data center network, our servers, and our storage devices. We have our applications that map on top of our servers and our storage devices. We have broadband network to our backup data center, and we provide internet access. So, using the drawing capabilities of Excel, we created this visual representation of the Cinder data center, essentially a cleaner version of the sketch that we just saw. At the top, we have all of our locations specified. Each location has its own network that connects them to the Cinder data center. They connect in through the core switches, through the Cinder data center network, and we have 6 Wintel servers, 6 Linux servers, and 7 storage devices. These are the applications or the service portfolio that map on top of our servers and our storage devices. We have site-to-site broadband with our backup data center, and we have internet access. Now that we know how to configure the data center, we can start collecting CIs and relating them. In the CI definition screen here, we've allowed for about 1,000 CIs. And we'd like to group the CIs by CI type. As you can see, we have facilities followed by all the facilities in this CMDB. We have servers and all of the servers. We have workstations, or one workstation. We have software. We have storage devices. And we have networks and switches, and all of the other CIs in the database. The CI mapping screen of the Visual CMDB is where we relate CIs. On the left is an index to the 100 association tables that appear on the right. In this association table, you can see the parent is 1820 Prince Street, and the child is the Cinder Prince Network 1. We can go and take a look at Cinder Prince Network 1, and we can see its relations. It's related to the core network switch. And of course, we can get a lot more sophisticated than that. If we take a look at the Cinder core network switch, we can see that it has a lot of different associations. If associations are done correctly, we should be able to walk through the infrastructure from the top to the bottom. What we're going to do in this case is we're going to walk from 1820 Prince Street through the network into the Cinder data center core switches, to the Cinder data center network, and then down to the servers. And the way we do that is through the Impact Assessment tab of the Visual CMDB. Now, this would be the parent, and of course we're going to choose 180 Prince Street, and its associations are going to come up. Anything in this area that's red is a parent and another association and can be walked. So I'm going to walk down to the network, and its associations will show, and it's associated with the core switch. I'm going to walk down to the core switch, and there's the associations for the core switch. I want to walk down to the Cinder data center network, so I'm going to walk down to there, and it's associated with a bunch of servers and storage devices, but I want to walk down to Cinder Wintel Server 2, and Cinder Wintel Server 2 is associated with Exchange, so I'd like to see what's happening with Exchange. And there we can see the CIs that belong with Exchange. Next step with the Visual CMDB is to use it on a day-to-day basis. So let's take a look at how we may do that. I want to know how the Wintel Server 2 is configured. So on our visual screen, we'll go down to the Wintel Server 2. We'll hit Attributes. Scroll down to the relationships defined down here. And this is how Cinder Wintel Server 2 is configured. We have operating system and 2 applications running on it. Let's take a look at how the Cinder Wintel Server 1 is configured. So we'll select Cinder Wintel Server 1. We'll hit Attributes. We'll scroll down to the association table, and we'll see that it's configured with several Foundation software packages and applications. What files are on the Exchange Storage 2 SAN? Well, we'll go to the Exchange Storage SAN. We'll hit Attributes. On the left-hand side, we'll scroll down to the association table, and we'll see that it's at the facility, and it's got 4 database files, Exchange database files on it. Get me the SLA for the Exchange application. Well, if we look at our service portfolio, over here, here's Exchange, and this is a link to the Exchange CMDB. We'll go to the Exchange CMDB, scroll down to the Technical Solution area. There's the Exchange SLA. I'll want to do the attributes on the Exchange SLA. And on the left, there's the attributes for Exchange SLA. There's the link to the document. And there's the Exchange Service Level Agreement document. The next question, how is our backup facility configured? Well, here's our backup facility right here, BMJ Data Center. We can go over to that CMDB, and there we are. We can browse that visual representation the same way that we're browsing our visual representation. How much work is left to do to configure all the servers in our Cinder data center? If we take a look at the audit tool, we can see down the left-hand side all of our servers, and we can see the software coverage, the application foundation, operating system, etc. coverage of our servers. Last thing that we want to do with our CMDB is we want to export selected CIs to the enterprise database. And the way we do that is through the export tool that's provided with the CMDB. In the export tool, you point it at any visual CMDB, and you select the CIs by type that you want to export. So in this particular database, I want to be able to export hardware CIs. And as we see, there's 35 hardware CIs. There's no relationships yet. And the other thing I'd like to export is the network components. In network components, we have 16 network components, and joining the network and the hardware, we have 42 relationships. So that's it. If that's the CIs that we want to export, the work is done. If we look at the tab Export CIs, here are all of the CIs to export. If we look at Export Relationships, these are all the relationships to export. It's as easy as that.